Hello and welcome to another episode of KenTraining. Today's training, what we're going to do is I've installed these windows here behind me, and you can go to my channel to see the complete videos on how to install these windows yourself. And then I put up what's known as the flat trim pieces, which is the white perimeter going around the window from the inside. And what I did not do at that particular time was seal it with a caulking material because I felt like it wasn't necessary, but I have since changed my mind. So today's video is going to be on putting up that sealant. And I've already done one window, that window right over here, and I've done this window here, and we'll do this window over here together. The channel KenTraining, you go to that channel where we give you the education and training you need so that you can tackle these projects and home improvement projects like this on your own. So that's the goal of this channel, KenTraining. Please click on like, subscribe to my channel, and let's get on with the show. Okay, so here's the detail. I'm touching what's known as the flat trim right now. This is the flat trim that you put on after the window. Now you see right here how there's that gap. And I was going to kind of live with that because, I don't know, I was just going to live with the gaps that were around the perimeter. So this window that I'm touching with my finger, I have not sealed yet. This window here, I have just finished sealing, so the sealant is still wet. So I don't want to touch the sealant with my finger, but this is what it looks like, what the finished job looks like. But there's also an added benefit to doing this. So this is what we're going for our final product, what it's going to look like once everything is said and done. And we'll use this window here as the example to show you. Like, the bottom seam is already pretty tight, but we're going to go ahead and seam up everything. Now, one problem that I had with this flat trim. By the way, go to my channel and you'll see how I installed this flat trim and the tools I used for all that. But one problem that I've had, even though I cleaned the window prior to putting on the flat trim, was that the flat trim comes with the self-adhesive like double stick tape where you pull off the adhesive, the backing to it so you can stick it to the window. I did all that properly and still it began lifting off. So what I've done, this is the sealant that I'm using. When I bought the windows, the company that I bought them from gave me this, I purchased this product, and this is basically it's just a water-based sealant. Okay, but this is the Tremco is the product, and there's the model number of the stuff I'm putting on the window right now. But it's basically just a water-based sealant. Now, for the tools that I'm using, I've got a regular sponge, a bucket of lukewarm water. I have a tool here to help me tool in the joints when I do it. So I'm doing a combination of my finger and this tool right here. I just got this at the Home Depot for like 10 bucks or 5 bucks or whatever it was. I can't remember what the price was. It's got some numbers here, but it wasn't that much money for this particular tool. Okay, so we have to, all right, by the way, one other thing that I did was, before as I was getting into this project, I took my fingers and pulled back the flat trim that was loose and stuck the sealant in there, and then put it in between, put the flat trim back to seal up and help glue in the flat trim to the window. So I've already done that on anything that was loose going around the perimeter. This section here was like really loose, so but I've already sealed that in, so we can go ahead and put our sealant up right now. So I'm going to go ahead and start this particular window is like really long. So I think what I'll do is I'll just start here and get this one section done, and then do this as a second section, right? Like, as opposed to this window here where I did the whole top section in one section, tooled it in, then moved into that leg, moved into that leg, moved into that leg. But here it's such a big window, I think I'll just cut this in half. So let me start there. All right, here we go. I'm just going to start over here. Get a small bead. And I'm just going to stop right there at the midway point. All right, this is what this looks like now on a zoom in. Give you the angle there. So basically that's just a very rough first application of this sealant. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and tool it in with a combination of techniques. Alright, so I have a damp sponge. I just wet my finger down a little bit, and now I'm just going to simply run my finger very quickly across this and then down, and then just give that a way to tool in this and kind of clean up the excess. It's a water-based product, so it's not too bad. But so I'm just trying to get my first run. It actually doesn't even look bad. I could really just leave it just like that. Let me show you what that looks like. All right, as you can see, it actually looks pretty good just tooling it in with my finger. Not bad at all, but sometimes I have found that you can get better results. Let me try to give you a close-up here of what I'm talking about when you use the tool. So now I got my sponge and I got my tool here. I'm just going to dampen it out slightly and just put that tool in there and work that in a little bit better. A little bit of material comes off of the tool, and I just use that and wipe it on the sponge and then continue on and do the entire bead. Then what I do is I go back with my damp finger and I just tool it one more time like that, so that this is my final result, what it looks like. So I kind of hit it 3 times. Put the sealant on with the application, wet finger to work it in, then I use the tool, then I use another wet finger application to tool it in one last time, and then that's the final product. This is the technique for the entire window. So it's tough for me to keep it zoomed in the entire time when I'm doing this, so I got to do this while I'm panning back so that I can try to show you guys what's going on. All right, so let me try and do that. Okay, so that's this whole section right here, tooled in, just the way I showed you. And you see the final result looks pretty good. I think that looks pretty good, okay? And now I'm just going to continue that technique along the same window and just continue here. So all that is done, and then I'll continue down and just do the entire window. But I just wanted to kind of show you the process. I'm going to do the window now off camera, and then I'll show you what the final window looks like. Alright, I want to show you right here how much better you can get with the tool finger combination than just your finger. Here I'm going to damp out my finger and go like this, and you'll see how much of the sealant is still on the windowsill. When I take the tool and I damp it out just slightly, hopefully you're picking up how much sealant is coming off, which I think is going to produce a better look. So then I'm going to go ahead and damp my finger out and then tool that in again. And I'll do this a couple of times just to get exact, and I'll go back and forth from different directions too, that helps. Just to get exactly the look that I'm going for. And then come back. Now here you've got a contrasting wood, so it kind of gives you something to look into. It's drying out a little bit on me. I gotta dampen it out, so I'm gonna put the whole sponge in there. Okay, but pretty much that's it. And I think that looks better than if I just had done with just my finger alone and not did with the tool. Let me see if I can give you a close-up of that. So here it is. I started in this section of the window over here. This is all done with the final product. Coming across. And then you can see where I stopped, and that's what the difference is going to look like. So that's what it's before, and this is what the final. It does definitely look more finished. And this is now stepping back from a further back view. I mean, it looks good. And I mean, they both look good, but this side of the window does look better. So I'm going to continue on. Okay, the window is completed. Here's the rest of the section I haven't showed you. So coming down here, I think it looks really nice. It's and it's going to help keep that flat trim up against the window. So it's got a dual benefit here. So not only does it give it a better finished look, it also has the added benefit of helping to keep that flat trim stock up against the window. So there you go, there's your final product. Okay, one other thing that I'm getting here is I'm getting these joints where the two seams come together. I think this one I'm gonna, if I did it, I'm gonna redo it because I can see a little bit of a gap there. This is what it should look like. Let me show you on this window, on this side over here. See how filled in that is? It just gives it more of a finished appearance. Alright, so here I put the sealant on, and then I'm just going to work it in with the tool, and then just follow up with my finger, with a damp finger, just to get the sealant off of the window so it's just in the crevice there. Basically that's it. It looks a little bit more polished, you know, the final product. Okay, here is an example of where the flat trim piece has just fallen off, even though it's got the, you know, the sticky side here and it was installed and everything, and it's fallen. And here you can see how it's just come loose. Now, so what I'm going to do is take the sealant that I'm working with and just put it in here, and put a bead of sealant in here, and bring that down to there. Now the reason why it's not coming off here is because down lower is because I had to put in some glue. It was actually a contact adhesive, so this is really, really strong, but I didn't go up all the way. But just kind of shows you this product, how weak it can be. Alright, so now that I've got that sealant in, I'm just going to push that up against the wall, push that in there, and work that in so it's going to stay. Do the same thing here. So I'm just trying to show you how this product can come out, even though I cleaned the window and had used clean the window. It's got the adhesive backing on the flat trim stock anyways, but now putting a bead of sealant here in these corners will give further gluing action to this flat trim to keep it in place. So it's got, and it looks better. So it's got a couple of different benefits of me moving forward with this project. Keeping the flat trim in place and giving it a more finished appearance are the added benefits. So I just wanted to show you that. There's another section down here, let me show you. Because this is two windows glued together, one on the top, one on the bottom, when you put the flat trim in, it buckles right there. So just to try to give it a little bit more gluing in here, I'm just going to try to reach in there and just try to seal that up. Let's see what that does when I go to put that in. And then let me sponge that. It's not perfect, but that's better than what it was. There's another section down here that you can see is falling apart. And let's see, you got a little bit going on right there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this back here. Throw that in there. Continue with this across. On. This corner right here as well is loosened up, so I'm going to go ahead and put some sealant in there. Get that right there. Right here as well, it's coming out. Okay, so that's basically how I take care of addressing all the loose flat trim from the original install. So just basically just resecuring it with the same sealant that I'm going to go around the perimeter. Now I've already done that with this window resecured all the flat trim. Now I'm going to do the perimeter just like you saw me do on the other window. It's going to be basically the same technique on this window right here. So I guess in retrospect, when I did the original install, I could have done all of this, but I wasn't aware that it was going to be necessary. So I guess that was foolish on my part. Alright, so I ended up sealing the section from the flat trim stock to the window all the way around because the flat trim stock was kind of, in some sections like this one over here where it kind of came off, I wanted to make sure it was really glued to the wall really well. Plus I think it finished it off a little bit. I was hesitant in doing this because if there's extra sealant that cures on here, sometimes it can pick up dust and stuff, and I was trying to keep the window cleaner, but I guess in that process it also made more work for me because the flat trim was falling off. This turned out nice over here where those large gaps were at. Just ended up sealing all that up. This is what the bottom looks like moving down. Sun, I'm fighting the sun here because the sun is against me, but I'm trying to show you as best I can what it looks like moving around the window. I think it looks pretty good, you know, it came out nice. So anyways, I hope you liked the video. Please click on like. That's going to conclude the video. I've pretty much given you the understanding of the pitfalls that you can come across with this flat trim, and how sometimes it's supposed to stick, but it doesn't, even after I cleaned it and everything else like that. So some additional sealant. I had used contact cement. That also worked very well. But now I'm just using the same sealant that I'm going around the perimeter. It's all white, it's all matching, so even if it spills over, it's fine. Please click on like below, give me some likes, and subscribe to my channel, and leave some comments about your window story and how you think I did on this job. That's basically going to conclude the video. I will see you later.